On From, we see a variety of clocks either on walls or on the residence. None seem to be accurately telling time, and furthermore, the seasons don't change according to times of years. The only correct time function is the ever-daunting nightfall, which in Fromville could signify the timing of your death. Hello from fans. On this episode, we are investigating the clocks and how time works in Fromville. There are popular Facebook and Reddit theories that think that the clocks not working symbolizes that time is irrelevant in this place. The first example of clocks we've seen is the clock in the Sheriff Boyd's office. In the majority of the scenes, the time is fixed, but there were a few that it has changed. We don't know if this is a continuity error from the production staff or it is meant to symbolize there's something up with the time. It could be the batteries dying, but not for the ones at the clinic that used to be a school. Those clocks are wired into the building, connecting to the mysterious electric flowing through the walls. So why is it stopped? There are two clocks in the clinic, normally separated by a sheet curtain. The first is in the room with the alphabet posters, of which the letters for VICTTOR is missing, and the second is in the space with the numbers, of which the number 1 is missing, and as far as we can tell, both clocks are stopped on exactly the same time. What are the chances of that? What does this mean? In episode 2 of season 1, the clock read 8:31, but then in season 1 episode 4, the clock is at 4 p.m. From has a scene style that when they want the audience to take note of something, they make sure whatever item or information it is, it's shown prominently as if to say, a clue, a clue.
It's a nice watch.
Hey, just leave it alone.
Even though the clocks were shown, there is never any mention that they mean something. What if time is much, much longer in this place? It seems that some of the town residents are unsure about how long they exactly have been there compared to the colony house members who seem to know exactly how long by having anniversary parties. The possible order of arrival is, of course, Victor first, then Father Kotry, Donna, Dale, Boyd, Ellis, and Abby. Corey, not sure who he is. Fatima. This was stated she came in a Volkswagen and asked Corey for directions about 1 YR ago. Eric, the guy who hung himself. Christy, who mentioned when she first got there, helped her, who was later confirmed by Mari to have been missing for 6 months. The next group after that was Kenny and his family, Jim and his family at the same time as Jade and Toby, then the large bus crowd in season 2. In other episodes and scenes, other clocks were shown at 7:27. We see the second hand clearly not moving within the clock. So it seems to be a mystery on how the hour and minutes are changing. This proves that the time does change, and people wear wristwatches for no purpose at all other than habit. Clocks and watches contain quartz, and with a battery that produces an electrical current to make the watch work. The town has no actual supply to electricity, so if the clocks don't work, this could be due to interference of electrical currents, or perhaps the town has a current of its own. Is this current responsible for pulling people into the town, somehow using the radio or radio waves? Could it be that all these people are being dragged in Fromville by a vehicle which all have a radio or were listening to music? Could it be that the clocks show different times because that was the time that particular watch or wall clock entered that place, which would explain the different buildings from seemingly different time periods? Reddit fans are convinced the talisman symbols are symbols that represent time on a clock. There are 12 hours, 12 months, 12 talismans with 12 marks, 12 buildings, and even as far as 12 main characters in the story. There was even a possible Easter egg moment when Jim was writing ideas on the house walls, and Tabitha asked him if he figured it out, and he said the answer was 12. That's right, you guessed it. The number 12 carries certain religious, mythological, and magical symbolism, generally representing perfection, entirety, or cosmic order. The key to understanding why this number is divine is that it is symbolic of the creation of the universe, as in the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. It has also been noted that many of the clocks have no second hands, and if you compare the clocks to the talismans, they are a circle, much like a clock, and there are 3 arms in the symbol. We already know there are different orientations of the symbol because we have seen that, and Jade has made special mention of this. Could it be that each position of each symbol is representative of a different time of day, seconds included? There are a few drawings that surfaced of clocks that look like a game board wheel with spinning arrows. The clock in the picture could be a timer like in chess, and the colors with the arrows represent how the characters use the faraway trees to move through each level of the game. The other connection about the clock and the faraway trees is how supposedly you never end up in the same place, but you may because you have to enter at a certain time or time of day in relation to the talismans based on time on the clock. As far as clocks in relation to being used in witchcraft, there aren't that many traditional examples. Witchcraft tends to allude to rural practices, and until very recently, the mechanical clock was an item of extreme luxury not available to the countryside practitioners. There was a theory that Father Khatri was sitting in a sundial clock face in the woods talking to Nathan. The sundial he was in would not have 12, but it would follow the solar path: east 3, south 6, west 9, north 12. There is a general connection to the clock face and the circular astrological charts that are intimately related. One could say that the clock embodies time not being controllable, only measurable, also tending to represent an inexorability. In the scene where Trudy approaches Jade in front of the bar, she is seen wearing a black shirt with 4 layered circles. The middle layer is yin and yang, surrounded by a clock face, surrounded by astrology signs and zodiac signs on the outer circle. One of the meanings of this relates to the phrase "as above, so below." This phrase can connect to the Bible in Matthew 6:10 and the Lord's Prayer, which says, "Set the world right, do what's best, as above so below, and your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." More esoteric astrologers can relate this phrase to the Emerald Tablet: as above, so below, as within the universe, so with the soul. Hermes Trismegistus. A deep explanation: as above, so below, as within, so without, meaning to accomplish the miracle of the one thing, as the universe, so the soul. This applies to astrology because what happens in the heavens is mirrored here on earth, or vice versa. Neither is the cause of the other happening, like a clock doesn't cause the time to be noon, but lets you know that it's noon and the energy of lunchtime, midday when the sun is directly overhead. Similarly, summer and winter have very different energies associated with each. So when the sun is in Cancer, it feels like summer among many other things, and Cancers have specific traits because of the influence of the sun's position, along with the traits of the other planets' energies and aspects. Then, during winter, when the sun is in Capricorn, we have a cold, serious feeling accompanied by the death of a lot of plants and animals, the shortest days of the year, and living off the harvest that was reaped in the fall. So Capricorn deals with endings, government, leaders, and the elderly, reaping what we have down and learning lessons essential to survival. The energies of the times are imprinted on each life and reflected by the position of the planets. As above, so below. As within, so without. What you believe and put your energy toward and your thoughts on will be reflected in the life you chose to live, the environment you surround yourself with, and the way you treat people. Astrology charts are maps which reflect the heavens of our solar system at a specific point in time. Astrologers delineate these maps and find specific correlations. These charts represent a rough particle physics diagram relating to string theory that states everything in our universe is connected, like fractals. Astrologers may tend to call this mapping and delineating cycles of corresponding energies and resonances. Trudy, wearing this shirt in that scene as Jade is, is wailing up saying string theory, Einstein-Podolsky, Rosen paradox, and Einstein-Rosen bridge, and she says, "Where are you going with that?" In relation to the string theory, Trudy's shirt connection to it is the second reference we hear on the show. During Fatima's one-year party Dale mentioned, they were in a pocket dimension instead of what string theories believed was a multiverse of 11 different dimensions. If string theory is true, our universe has extra dimensions that lie curled up at every point around us. Could the residents be in one? The next scene after that is Boyd in his office looking at the map connected by strings. Coincidence? I think not. The last clock connection is a connection with Elgin Father Time and watches. Elgin is the name of a watch manufacturer from between 1864 and 1968. 1864 is one of the dates carved in the stone archway in Tabitha's dream. The Elgin Company made fine watches, and many of the watches made 100 years ago still work perfectly today, but most interestingly, their logo symbol was Father Time, who looks a bit like the character Martin. I think the writers are directing us to think about time. They have a new character named after a watch manufacturer, they showed a grandfather clock in the monster's lair, and they showed a drawn clock face in show episodes and behind the scenes. Another scene of significance with music is in Season 2, Tether, when Kenny and Ellis are in the forest, when out of the blue they hear an alarm playing music. As they walk over to investigate, they find Kelly, one of the new arrivals from the Grand Rapids bus. This scene shows that the monster used her phone alarm to go off to notify the residents she was there. The alarm seems to be set specifically for that time when Kenny and Ellis would be close by to hear it. How did the creatures know? Or was it set randomly for anyone to find her? This also relates to the music box with this theory that instead of comparing it to a clock, compare it to a symbol that is saying time is running out. On behalf of the Movie Guru and Movie Guru Media, I want to thank you for watching this deep dive on the clocks. Make sure you like and subscribe to be notified of my next video, and as always, we'd love to know what you think. So let's discuss in the comments. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.